Hey, Total Schmidt Show, Season 2, Spencer James, in Episode 1 of Season 2. Buckle up. Hey, welcome to the Total Schmidt Show. Whether you're watching on the Lenny Schmidt Comedy Network on YouTube or you're listening on podcasts, we have a new intro, new theme song. Let's do this. Hey, tune in every week as I travel the world and I talk to entertainers from all over the world. A lot of writers, a lot of comics, a lot of dancers, a lot of singers, a lot of comics, a lot of producers, a lot of tech people, a lot of comics, a lot of pianists, piano player type people. You know what I'm talking about. Musicians and lots of comics. Every once in a while, we'll throw in a comedy sketch, something like that, some music, some travel stuff. We'll even do a live remote from one or two of the ports that happen to be hanging out at. That's it. That's the whole show. And I'm going to record it all and put it on the intraweb. Sometimes. Usually late. Always late. Maybe. I don't know. And weekly? No. Maybe. Sort of. Either way, sit back, grab a beer, light a joint, and enjoy this week's episode of Schmidt Show. Hey everybody, welcome to Total Schmidt Show, Season 2, a new season, same ugly cabin. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching the show on YouTube, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I am once again in a great dingy cabin doing a promo for one of the shows. If you're listening on the podcast, forget about it. I am on the balcony of a luxury resort somewhere near a volcano. Still no sponsors for the show. Once again, if you take a look at the screen, if you look just next to me, there's information to follow us on social media. It's all at Mr. Lenny Schmidt on every platform. You can find me on all of those. And above me is a ticker explaining how you can support the show financially. Right now, we are supported only by our followers, subscribers, and fans, and they help us out big time. You can go to LennySchmidt.com and click the Pay If You Can button, and there are options there for you to support the show for as little as $1. You can go to Venmo, Cash App, whatever you want to do. Credit card, PayPal, it's all there. It's all there. And you can even join the Patreon page. Do that. If you join Patreon, you get all kinds of cool stuff. You get extra live stream shows. We'll be doing more live streams for this season too. And if you're a Patreon member, you'll get a new live stream every month. That's just for you. There's also a live stream on YouTube for everyone. But if you're a Patreon member, you get your own individual live stream. You can watch the show, make comments, listen, get involved in the show. You also get free merch. You get free tickets, shout outs of the show. You get to tune into our happy hour show, which is just me and the Patreon members drinking, talking about life and stuff like that. So that's some of the stuff you have to look for on Season 2. And we're going to start it today with my good friend Spencer James. This is a very tech-heavy episode. During COVID, Spencer and I both dove deep into different production things. I started doing shows like this, podcasts, shooting, recording, uploading, social media. And he started working much more as far as cameras and DPs work and cinematography. And he does some beautiful work. And just now his social media is starting to take off as well. And we talk about a lot of shooting, a lot of editing, and a lot of that stuff that we've been doing the last few years and how we balance it with our travels. And Spencer's a great friend of mine. So I'm really pleased to have him here for episode 1 of Season 2 of Total Schmidt Show. Sit back and enjoy my conversation with Spencer James. Yeah, I check a bag. That's the thing. When I started doing this version of the podcast, I wanted to find a way to do it while I traveled. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And what's really cool is I haven't been able to do it that much, but I can do it from a port. Like the one I was just editing for the short is the J.C. Coakley we did. We recorded at Thirsty Cougar.
Is this going to be too loud?
No, you're fine. Okay. Is that enough ice for our show? You're going to run out of ice in about 4 minutes.
Ice in about 2 minutes.
Okay. Anyway, I like to, what I wanted to do was, and I've done it a couple of times, is to do record the show live, because I did the show live during COVID, right? And it would send you a link. You did it once from your apartment. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'd send you a link and we would interview on the internet. You know, people could interact and talk and ask questions and stuff. I really like that aspect of it. And then when I started traveling, I couldn't do that anymore because I'm recording them a lot like this, and I'm on a ship. I can't get a decent Wi-Fi connection to record. I've tried a couple times. It's too unpredictable.
Yeah.
I can't plug it. I can't go, hey, live Thursday at 9, and then I go on at 9 and go, hey, the connection sucks. Sorry, you know?
Yeah.
So, but what I can do is I can go to some of these ports. I can record a show live in a remote, like a Cougar, it's at Thirsty Cougar. And what I did was I sent a link to my Patreon members and my subscribers and said, if you guys want to watch the show live, you can watch it live. So I didn't put it up on YouTube Live for everyone to see. I put it on like a private link that only certain people could see. Yep. And then I edit the episode afterwards and put that up.
Okay.
But it gives people that pay the monthly fee, at least they feel like they're getting something. They get once a month where they get, because the Q&A thing was the coolest thing. And the people that followed me the most really dug that part of it.
The Q&A part of
just being able to interact, because we can have a conversation. And I go, hey man,
during live.
Yeah, or sometimes like
during
somebody
live. Yeah, I did that.
Or and then somebody will post in like, I'll be, oh shit, Ed's from Brad Garrett's is here. He says hello or whatever. If someone knows both of us, they'll go online a lot and they'll try, and that stuff work. And then other people,
I would say that's the part that I'm missing from the social media for sure. Is going live. There's no way to do it. There's no way to go live on something. Yeah,
it's like really hard to do it and advertise it. Like you can on a whim go, oh look, I got a good connection, and maybe do like a Instagram Live or something. But for me to do this show, especially because I have less stuff now I carry with me. There's another processor I use or another software I use, but I need a PC for it, and it goes through another board, and so I need like 2 other pieces of equipment.
What's the purpose of that? Why do you need to bring that?
I don't now, because now I do this. Because with this, I shoot on 2 different. Like this is recording to the laptop, that's recording to the disc or the whatever. And then what I'll do is I'll edit it all and find a cut afterwards. You know what I mean? I'll just pop it in, put the heads in, edit it, and I already got a template figured out in Final Cut, so I go, no, this goes here, and then I cut in and out on close-ups on me and you, and I do that. But the other one is it's producing software. It's a OBS, and you can run or produce a show.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and you just push buttons, and that way I don't edit shit. I record the whole thing, and it's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then when I would edit those at the end, all I would do is watch them to make sure they're okay, make sure the audio was connected and everything was fine. I would just watch the whole thing. And if I felt like you needed a close-up at a certain spot, I would just edit it in Final Cut and go in on a close-up. You know what I mean? Okay. But it's perfect for live, because then you just go live. You get everything from graphics to captions to everything, and you just and the interface is set up to feed. So like as we're talking, there's different highlights that are coming in that I've already programmed into the software.
Is there anybody that's doing all the stuff that you're doing?
It's doing what?
Is there anybody doing all the stuff that you're doing?
Not that I know of. No.
You ran into somebody doing all this?
No, that's why I keep trying to find a way to make it work to where it's doable, and I only need to depend on myself. Oh shit, where's my...
Do you feel you're losing quality? On if you're doing 9 things and you're not focusing on one.
Sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes I record and I screw it up and then I can't use it. I've done a couple. I had a great episode I did 2 weeks ago or longer. Billy D. Washington and Chris Wiles. We were on the Mardi Gras. Okay. And it was a great hour and 15, 20-minute podcast. It was really great. Yeah. I watched it afterwards, but there's something wrong with Billy's audio, and I can't figure out what it is. It's echoey, and I'm like, it drives me crazy. You know what I mean? I just can't fix it. So I've got a handful of episodes like that, but a lot of it is me just learning. It's me. Yep. I've always been like, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday about you want to, like when you didn't open your MacBook for a long time. Yeah. Like you get your MacBook and I want to get this down.
Drove Christy crazy.
Yeah, before I do this. I'm the opposite. I open fucking everything and just try to figure it all out as I'm going.
No, man.
And I screw things up left and right, and I just make it all balance out at the end.
Yeah, I can't do that. I got my flask, by the way. My flask came in today.
Oh, yeah?
Christy got it. She goes, this is really nice. And I was like, cool. Yeah, it's like $45. It was because she thought she could find something similar on Yeti. We're big Yeti fans.
Yeah.
You know what Yeti is? You look like you don't know what Yeti is. You don't know what Yeti is? Okay, you need to go into a Dick's Sporting Goods when you get on land and just find the Yeti area. They're like that. They're like, they're thermals.
Oh, I think I got a cup like that.
Well, they're for the home. Like we're just like we've outfitted like my kitchen with just Yeti shit.
Really?
Yeti shit. Yeah.
Is it like, because I have one, like I could fill it with ice and put it on my bedstand. Yeah. And then get up in the morning and there's still ice in there.
Yeah. People have glassware.
Actually, 2 days. You can sit there for 2 days.
Yeah. People have glassware, and I don't use glasses. I just use Yetis. Right. That's all I use. I don't know if it's only supposed to be for camping equipment, but I just use. That's what and she likes it too. There's all sizes. Right. So that's what I use every day. But that thermal I'm looking forward to. It got the wide lip. I got the wide open. It's 1 liter.
Yeah, dude. I wish
I'm pretty excited.
My daughter has one that's a bigger opening. Because you know what? I
need it for the ice.
Yeah. I mix my protein shakes in here. But it's hard to get the powder in the top because it's such a small.
Oh, I got a funnel.
Oh,
I got a funnel. I'll bring a funnel. I'll show it to you.
Right.
I'll show it to you. Okay, Christy found me one, and it was like a one that like collapses. Oh. And so I pop it out, and I just put it in there, and then it let the protein chowder. Otherwise, I do it with like my hand. Well, like I hold my hand over it like this, and I start doing it, and then I just start shaking my hand a little bit. And I was an idiot. I was like, I did it with my whole hand, and then I was like, why are you doing it that way? And then I held it just like this, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I could just do it that way too.
I do the freestyle, so I put it into a cone.
Oh yeah,
and then just pour it in the top
with the piece of paper.
Yeah, with
on Carnival. For some reason, I never can find a piece of paper, so I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I see you got the extended outlet too. The multiple outlet.
Yeah, that thing's a lifesaver, bro.
Yeah, I used to have it, and I didn't really. I like that one. That one's skinny.
Yeah, I use it all the time, and it's easy to travel with.
I like that skinny one.
Yeah,
Chrissy got me like a huge one. It's got like
there's a couple that
16 pieces. This doesn't work. That I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna look for that little one.
And this is cool because everything is like it's got USB and USB-C ones, the new ones. You know what I mean?
Oh wow. Okay.
Down at the bottom, so that's what I use for my phone.
Does it have prong outlets or no?
No.
Okay.
No, but that works. It's got two of the C's and then the 4 of the B's, and that's enough for all my cords. And then I just unplug and plug as they go along. Like my phone, my watch one is there, my phone one is there, and then I have a USB-C and then an old USB charger.
No, I like that. I like it. So we do get a lot more outlets on Norwegian than we do anywhere else.
Yeah, because I thought about carrying a power strip with me. You know what I mean? But that's just another thing I got to be carrying around. I know guys that do it. That carry a power strip. I see them in the airport. You ever seen a guy in the airport?
She got me a traveling one too, but it's not like that. Traveling one, that one sits up like narrow, so I really like that one.
Yeah, it's easy to travel, to pack and everything too, man. It's got a good cord.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's a bitch of it too, is that you get so many different things, and then you finally find the good one. You know, I don't know how many times I've bought different things. And all of a sudden, like that, what we were just talking about with your dongle,
yeah,
like
this
right
is a really
there.
good one.
I've bought like 3 of them. I don't know if that's the official term, but that's what Peter McKinnon called it, was a dongle.
Okay, I'm calling it a dongle.
And then I was like, man, and it was a bitch. Every time you touched it,
I had 2 other ones like that.
Every time you touched it,
but this is the only. I haven't had one issue with this. I've had
Anchor,
it over a year now.
Anchor. A-N-K. I think it's A-N-K-E-R. Yeah. And that I was like, oh, and they're the ones that have my battery. I have like a wireless battery charger that goes on the back of this, and Anchor made that, and it's like phenomenal. And so I know it's a good company. And then I saw one for that on what was the Amazon Day? They got like an Amazon Day.
Oh, it's the Amazon Day.
It was Amazon Day.
Yeah, right.
They showed me one
Prime Day, right?
Prime Day.
Yeah. And
they showed me one. I bought it. And I was like, I got it. I can't be dealing with this shit anymore. With them like disconnecting my drive while I'm trying to edit. And then, and then that one's amazing. Right, and it replaced. I bring it with me. Every time. It's amazing. Hasn't disconnected one time.
It's amazing how much, dude. The process of finding the right things to travel with is a never-ending cycle of plugging things in, checking it, talking to people, and upgrading. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're constantly, oh, this will work better. Oh, this will work better. Oh, this is great. Oh, what do I think of this? This saves me 2 devices I don't need to carry now. That's the other thing is like the more devices you find, or the more adapters or whatever that make you carry less things. I also have these things that are great. I use these as well. I carry them with me. This is my big bag of stuff.
Backpack. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, that backpack that I just bought, the one you see me carrying around, it's going to be worth every penny. It's going to be worth every penny. All these things that I've bought where I'm trying to like, I just need to get a version of this. What's that?
They're little adapters. You put the end of a regular USB, and this is the C that plugs into the Mac. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of these, and then I got a bunch of the opposite way around. They plug the C into the A. But it was just a bunch that I bought that came with this. They all came together. I can't remember what I paid for, but it was well worth it. Because I've got more than enough adapters, and I use them every single day.
Yeah,
like all day.
Yep.
Like not just once. You know. And now that they work in an airport. That's the other thing. Some shit works in a cabin, but it's not good for the airport, or it's not good for a plane. Because some planes don't have. Now some planes have USB ports. Mm-hmm. Some only have prongs. You know, like where there's no USB ports.
What are you doing on the plane though? Are you just charging your phone or something, or no?
Yeah, no, you're charging your phone, but on a longer flight, like because I use my earbuds and my phone, and sometimes I need to charge the phone. Yeah, I mean I'm just charging the phone. Yeah. But if you don't have your prong, a lot of times the prong is put away because everybody's got USB ports everywhere now.
It just occurred to me that I could probably charge my. Can I charge my laptop with the USB-C to a USB? Could I charge my MacBook on a plane? Could we do that?
From doing a USB-C or USB-A? No, you need a power cord. That's what this thing is for.
I know, but they don't have that. Some planes have tongs where you can put them in, or you can put the prongs in.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Most like it's weird. You never know which one it does. Have you been on a plane yet that doesn't have either?
Oh yeah,
dude. I was on from Miami to L.A. It was like a 4-hour flight, 4.5 hours, and I go, where are the power cords? There's nothing.
Mine was the Hawaiian one. Mine
my
was
God.
From L.A. to Hawaii on Aloha Airlines.
That should be for like an hour-long flight, maybe.
I didn't understand it.
I couldn't.
But I had the Anchor. I'm telling you, I had that wireless battery pack. Do you have a wireless battery charger that you take with you?
I got 2 of them actually. So
it's so dumb. This is supposed to be a comedy podcast, and this is what the world is now. This is what the world is now. Is doing this. The world is.
Yeah. Well, we can't be funny unless we can't use our devices.
Well, we can't show anybody, I guess.
Right.
But it took so long to learn. Like I feel like it took long to learn. I don't know how anybody learns this any faster. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff, all the gear that I have, all the gear that you have.
Right.
I don't know how, I don't know how anybody, man.
Well, but learning it, like here's a good, like the fact the episode I was just editing with JC, on that particular episode, the thing with the platform, like when I use the PC and I use the, this is very tech heavy. When I use the PC, we're almost done. We'll move on. We'll move into comedy.
No, but it's serious. Like the hardware and the software that you have to do, and you're not supposed to talk about it. Like you're just supposed to. Right. It seems like you're not supposed to.
But if you don't know,
like,
how to
look
use
how
it,
beautiful. Yeah, look how
mean?
beautiful this is. And
you
it's
don't know how to use it. You're just a bar act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't, you know what I mean? No one's going to. You ever heard of Spencer James? Who? Is he on social media? No, I've never heard of him. Yeah. No, everyone's on social media now. So you got to have all of it. So anyway, I do the episode with JC, and I brought all the equipment with me. I always forget something. That's the other thing is I constantly forget something. So I'll pack up the night before. I go, I'm good. And then I'll double check the next morning. So I walk all the way to the Thirsty Cougar. And that's the thing is I get out the ship, walk to the Thirsty Cougar, get some exercise.
Oh, no.
And then plug everything in. And then I go, as I'm unloading, I noticed I didn't bring the hard drive, which has the programmed software and the templates for the show. So I've got to completely put together a whole new show.
You're running them off of an HD, or you have another SSD that you're running them off of?
That's not an SSD. That's only because I'm only recording the video on that platform, so it's not on an SSD. Or at least I've never used an SSD for that. I've always recorded it straight to a hard drive, like a 2 TB hard drive or something.
I don't know what that does. I don't know.
Because it's not really. It's only recording. It's not processing. Like with editing, you got to process.
Yeah.
So you need the SSD, otherwise you're going to be just. You know what? It doesn't suck much memory to record the show.
Okay.
Because the platform, the OBS platform, it's great. It's amazing. It's very simple.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Does other people use it? Like, did you learn all this from somebody else that does a podcast?
Well, I searched for it. I needed to find when I was doing during COVID, I was using different platforms to go online. So I started looking at different softwares I could use that I was only in charge of, because all the other ones I was using seemed I needed a third party. So I would record. Hey, hit this link, and then it would be recorded at a third site. There's something called we record, and then something else, and then I was doing it on Facebook, and then I was doing it on YouTube, and it was recording on there. I go, no, fuck that. I want to record it, and then I want to be able to put it up online. I want to be in charge of the recording, because if they go down, I don't want them to go, we have technical difficulties. I don't have any fucking technical difficulties.
Except for the elementary school kids, right? Or whoever
except
it
for
is.
the Westview kids, yeah. Anytime I screw up, I blame the Westview kids. I mean, it is the Westview kids. It's totally them that screw it all up. But it was another step in me trying to find a way to do something without depending on other parties or a third party.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
The fact that you're having a podcast where you interview other people, I'm like, it terrifies me.
Yeah, my brother hates it too. He just talks by himself. But I like talking to stuff about stuff like this, or even more, like all the stuff we talked about this week. Your social media, your plan for attacking social media.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
Yep.
That's interesting to me, and I think a lot of people the people that do watch the show or listen to it. There's not many of them, but eventually I find a market of more people that want to know what's going on.
So you didn't pay anybody? You didn't take any classes? You didn't pay anybody for any of this?
No, man.
Have you seen an uptick in numbers from when you started doing this to where you are now? And what is the uptick?
There's not that much of an uptake on the YouTube. The podcast there is. I'm getting more downloads of my podcast.
Do you know those numbers? Like when you started, what were you? You were at 0 when you started.
Right, I was at 0.
Okay.
Now it's not. It's not. Last week I was uploaded only. It's not much still. It's 10. Last year I was uploaded 22 times last week.
Okay.
Which is pretty good for me since I didn't put an episode up last week. You know what I mean? So that's
wait. So what did they upload last week if you didn't put a thing up?
Previous episodes. You can go to a previous episode and watch it or listen to it.
Okay.
On all kinds of podcasts.
And so do you get paid per upload?
No, not yet. Nothing is monetized yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get to the point where it's monetized. But then when it gets to a point where it's monetized, I'm already going to have, hundreds of episodes out there. And I'm hoping it steps me in the right direction.
Yeah. I remember when Rogan started, like, he was, like, bringing sex toys and stuff. Like, it was, like, I wonder if you could get those earlier podcasts. Because it was, like, it wasn't what it is now.
No,
like,
he even talks about how it was weirder because it was called something else. And, I mean, now it's his own thing. It's,
Yeah. Now
it was just him and his friends fucking around in his basement is what he said. It was for a while. And then.
Man, if you could just get out of your own way, and I know people have said that to me for years about everything, social media and everything else, but if you could just keep creating, keep creating and keep putting it out there and make sure. The problem with me is that am I actually going to be able to make this consistent? And is it something that I desperately want to keep doing? You know what I mean?
Want to keep doing is a key phrase.
And so my journey was in COVID, but I didn't post for a year and a half. I didn't post anything. It was probably over a year at least. I didn't post anything. I wasn't on social media at all. And then I said I had to learn how to do this stuff. Like I had to learn how to use video and audio and all that. So I spent a year. I spent a lot of money on. I mean, you spent money. Yeah. You spent money on the equipment. Like you definitely spent money on the equipment, right?
Yeah. I spent money on tutorials. For mainly for Final Cut Pro, not so much for YouTube for the podcast. The podcast, everything we read for the podcasting was pretty simple.
Sure, but you have to buy the equipment. Like the equipment for me was expensive. I mean, the MacBook. I mean, how much I spent money on that was just crazy.
Like a lot of people don't use these microphones for podcasts.
No, these are nice mics.
I like these mics for podcasts. Like I have a Yeti. Someone just gave me a Blue Yeti, and I used that the last time I recorded. And I don't like the way it sounds. This sounds really good on the podcast.
Okay.
When it's recorded correctly. And even more importantly, if we're at like a busy, like when we're at Thirsty Cougar and stuff, it still sounds great. You know what I mean? There's a mariachi band in the background and you hear us clearly. But you hear the background ambience of a bar. It's kind of cool. Yeah, and that's what I want. I like that vibe. But if you use those other microphones, it picks up the whole, and there's other mics you can use. There's condensers, and I just settled on these. I think the negative with these is I got to bring these and the cords with me.
They're heavy,
and then the interface. But I think it makes a better sound. I like it.
Yeah.
And if I can check a bag, like this is a good week to check a bag. We were talking about that before.
Here for 2 weeks, and then you get on Celebrity for how long?
And you're flying U.S. You know what I mean? I'm not going in and out of another port. Like on some of those Carnival gigs, you're flying in and out of Grand Turk, and I only got a day or a connection, or you know what I mean? It's a little more difficult. So a lot of times with those, I'm like, I'm not checking it back. I want everything on me. It's easier to travel with.
Yep.
But on things like this, where I'm flying in and out of Seattle, and I got a whole travel day, and I'm on a ship for a week, I'll check a bag.
The only reason I check bags now is because if I'm going to be gone probably longer than 2 weeks, but also for suits.
Yeah.
I need to find something for that. Me and Christy were looking at that, what kind of bags we could take for suits and whatnot, because getting them wrinkled, and I got to wear them when I get on Oceania. Like that's kind of a preference that they have. They wear it on Oceania.
Really?
And then you got just a little bit nicer on Oceania. Yeah. So, and you have to have that. And then I was coming here for 2 weeks. I wasn't going to go home and come back.
Right.
So I was like, all right, well, I just need to bring them with me. And that's kind of the thing. Now all my camera equipment, everything is in that backpack.
Right.
It's in that bag.
Right.
And that's why I'm so stoked about that bag.
That's
like
great.
I'm so stoked about that bag. I mean, finding the insert that goes into it. I mean, going to several different camera stores. This is the third bag I've bought. I have another bag that's more expensive, but it's just bigger. And it just doesn't. That's for like if you're full-time videography and stuff.
Right.
So, but anyway, like that. This is the stuff that we have to learn how to do and do now. But I don't know. Are we coming late to the game? Are we late to the game on this?
Yeah, we are late to the game. I think about it all the time. You know what? I'm late to the game on everything. I always show up. You know what I mean? Like I moved to LA 2 years after they stopped doing development deals. I'm always late to the game on everything. I don't know. I started a podcast way after everybody else was doing one. I remember I thought about doing one, and I never wanted to do one because I was already on ships. And I go, I don't want to deal with it. I'm traveling. What's the point? And at that point, I really thought the rest of my career is going to be, this is it. I'm going to be a ship comic.
Yeah.
And this is what I'll do for 20 years, and then I'll retire. And then COVID came, and I was like, ugh, now what do I do? And then it made me even think more about having control over what's happening to you.
Yep.
And having control of your income, not being dependent on a cruise line, and diversifying your income.
This is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Like this is just Groundhog Day for me. Like this is every day. Like just trying to get ready for that house. I mean, I would say 60-70% of what I do is necessary. Maybe 30% is creative, but it's just, you just got to keep putting it out there. I'm trying to buy that house next year. So everything for me now is getting 2 rental properties and buying a house.
It's a smart move, bro. I wish I would have done that years ago. I had a friend there's a door guy at the Funny Bone in Naperville. He was 21, and he bought a house. And he told me at the time, I was maybe 30 something. He goes, man, property, it's the way to go. I'm telling you. I'm like, okay, man. And by the time I left, he had owned like 2 houses. He was well on his way of owning and renting and owning and renting and owning. And I should have been smarter earlier.
I don't know if it's gonna work, but I know that that's the only route where I'm like, I gotta have the ability to, like, we're not trying to add money. I'm trying to transition money from cruise to land.
Right.
And then everything outside of that is what I'm trying to do right now. Like, I'm trying to figure out, all right, how do we do merch, like what you're doing?
Right.
Like, how do you do merch when you're on the ship? And then how do you pitch that? The whole world that navigates in this, like this. Like, it doesn't, the live thing is great. That's what I love. Right. And now it's learning everything that goes in this that people can touch and bring with them. Like, how do I dominate this? Right. That's the thing. And do it where I don't lose my soul.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to get famous for peeing on rocks on TikTok.
No. That's the key. It's got to be, you got to be comfortable with it. It's got to be something you like doing. It all comes down to what you want to do.
Yeah. Like, you know? I just can't wander all day and just take selfies of myself. It has to be some production value behind it.
Right.
I guess is the way that I like it.
Creativity, you know what I mean? Like
something behind it, yeah. Even these short little Instagram stories that I'm doing, they're like, I make them so they're 15 seconds. Yeah. That's another thing, like Artlist. Artlist is where I got all my music before.
Oh, I use Artlist. I love Artlist.
But then Motion Array breaks the songs down. Motion Array breaks the songs down into 15-second, 30-second, and 60-second clips.
Really? What is it? Motion Array?
Motion Array.
Okay.
And what's great about that is that your Instagram story only goes for, you know, a certain amount of seconds before it cuts out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before it starts. Well, now I guess it's got 60 seconds
it does,
before it cuts out now. I guess it does 60 seconds.
Right.
But it's nice for me to see the because it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and maybe I just want to use a 15-second clip.
Oh, that's really cool.
And it's not copyrighted from somewhere else.
Really?
So it's just like Artlist. Like, you can just use that music.
Dude, I'll have to look
but
that
Motion Array, I think, is the one where I'm like, man, this is great.
Motion Array?
Motion Array.
Motion Array.
Motion Array. Yeah.
Right. Is it an app or a website?
It's a website.
Okay.
I think it's like $30 a month.
Okay.
Yeah. Artlist was really expensive when I first got it, and then it was like a third of the cost this last time when I renewed. And I'm like,
really?
Yeah. And I'm like, that's good, but Motion Array just seems like it'll have everything.
Yeah, I don't have whatever membership I have with Artlist is free, and I pay per piece. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, nice. Okay.
Yeah, which is fine because I've only used, and most of the stuff I got from Artlist I couldn't use on a podcast anyway. They were like, you can't use this.
Well, see, for me, I'm using, you know, I film before. Yours is more like this, like recording a live event and then just posting that. Right. Mine is more post-production. I want to do more about, I like the editing.
Right.
I like editing the thing, and then the thing I need to get better at is the cinematography of it, is getting better at the what angle looks good.
And stuff?
Yeah, the shooting of it looks good. I really, when I watch movies now, I think about the shots.
Yeah, I noticed that you're a lot more into
the shots that they do and the cinematography that they do. When I watch something, I'm like, oh, I'll stop my lady. I'll stop Christy, and I'll be like, rewind. I want to go see what he did. Like there's there's one in James Bond.
Yeah.
The latest James Bond one, and it was like we were just staring at this road for a long time. And then it moved with the car to the left, and it had this expansive, like, scenic thing. And I go, and it was right at daybreak. Yeah. I go, man, like the amount of time and energy that took. Yeah. Somebody had to plan. They had to plan all of that. Yeah. They had to plan all of that shot. Yeah. And so anytime there's like not like the big ones, like in some movies, like Spielberg will have one where it's like a continuous shot. You know what I mean? Like that's choreographed, huge millions of dollars budget. But you know, it's really good. Handmaid's Tale. The cinematography. Oh, right. Have you ever watched Handmaid's Tale?
No, I've never seen it.
The cinematography and the way that it tells a story, like it's not even in the script. Like there was a part where it was. Do you know anything about Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
Okay, so they hang people. Right. Like that's what they do in Gilead. Okay. Is that they hang criminals and they hang handmaids that step out of place and everything else.
Right.
So there's the beginning of the scene once, and they would utilize mirrors really well. They would also do that was really cool. But this one was like the beginning of something very suspenseful happened in the last episode. For the next episode, they started on a shot where they were tracking this rope. Mm-hmm. They were just tracking this rope, and you were like, "Shit!" Oh wow! And then it just ended up being a rope in like a farm or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker! Like you got me." But that's not in the script. That's the director, the cinematographer.
Right.
I don't know who that is, but somebody is discussing this. They'll be like, hey, what if we start this episode with this? And it's like, oh, that's so good. Idea. And it's in the back of your brain. It's subliminal. It's not someone just telling you this is a rope, and then it's this. Man, I love that ability for them to storytell like that.
Dude, that's all. Yeah, that's cool. I like that, man. Did you see the last John Wick?
Yeah.
Did you see the shot from above? That's almost like a video game.
Oh, dude, he's going around killing people with that awesome gun.
Dude, I almost stood up while that happened. I was the coolest. I mean, it was the greatest 15 minutes when they showed the gun initially, and then the gun was gone and then they killed the guy.
Well, you knew that was coming back.
I knew, but then
you knew that gun was coming back.
Yeah, but when he killed the guy real quick, I go, "That's the payoff on the gun." That's stupid.
Oh no! And then then they wetted your beak with it.
Oh,
then you're crazy. The
12 minutes or whatever it was badass. It's like a video game.
Well, that was the whole thing about Top Gun. Did you watch Top Gun?
Yeah,
Maverick?
the last one. Yeah.
Fucking terrible movie.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Oh, the story is it's
the same as the first one.
It is pop. Exactly. So charge me 1/8 of the ticket price.
What did you expect when you were going in there? Something around baking?
I like storytelling. Granted, my expectations were way too high when I went in because, dude, he's giving a speech in front of the American flag. And then Miles Teller, when he had the mustache, is like, really? That's supposed to convince me that you're Goose's son? Kid. And he's singing the same song.
I bought it all.
And then he gets transported out of the thing, and he's going Mach 10, and he just ejects and then has some water. And I was like, that should have. He's dead. Like, and then he flies another jet with no controls. He's running through the woods, and he pushes Miles Teller. That's just like, this needs to be over now. Like this is just, dude. The worst part of that movie was when Miles Teller goes, "Talk to me, Dad." Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember the part.
Chrissy smacked herself in the forehead.
Did she?
Yeah,
really?
You could hear it. Like, it was that bad.
Smack.
It's one of those things where you're sitting with somebody and you don't talk about it, and you're just sitting here and you're just like, like, this is not, like, you could feel it from the other person. Like, we don't like this movie. Like, this is not, we're not feeling it. And sure enough, that part where she smacks her forehead, it's like everybody in this theater knows.
Right.
Okay? Regardless if you're liking this or not liking this, that was the corniest, shittiest line.
Right.
In probably the history of cinema.
I bought it all though. Sometimes I like the
and a lot of people did
porn stuff.
A lot of people did. A lot of people went. They don't want to think about it. They just want to get their popcorn and see jets. Yeah. Now the reason I'm bringing it up is because the cinematography. Yes, the cinematography. I'll watch that on mute. Like, I'll watch the stuff on mute on battles. But man.
Dude, the one where he grabs the jet and takes off, and when Cruise takes the jet and decides he's going to do the test run,
that was cool.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
But it
also showed the intensity of the flight inside the cockpit, man.
I like that. All of that was cool, but when they start speaking, the dialogue is just terrible, bro. Like, it's just so bad. And then Val Kilmer shows up with no throat, and it's just like, okay, all right, well, this is what we're doing now.
And then him in the movie.
Then he dies, and it's just.
I bought it all.
No, then he gets in with this, like, Miles Teller and start doing a barrel roll. He's like, "You got us into this. Now you're gonna get us out. Yeah. I can go as low as you can." And I'm like, "Oh my god, it's just the worst. It's just the worst lines." But a lot of people in it. A lot of people saw it and made billions of dollars and everything else. But I miss Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men. Yeah. I miss Tom Cruise in. Did you ever see the movie Lions for Lambs?
Oh no, I never.
It's got Andrew Garfield, Meryl Streep. I think Meryl Streep's in it. Robert Redford.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, and it's Tom Cruise in it, like a small bit part.
Right.
It's just I like those. It's like West Wing for me, I guess. I like the dialogue. Right. I like the story arc. I like the characters going from a beginning, middle, and an end. Like, I just love, and then I love learning something as I go.
Right.
Like, so that's the kind of movies I like. I like movies with narration, and I like movies that introduce me into a world that I don't know that really exists. Rounders is my favorite.
I love Rounders.
Rounders is my favorite movie of all time.
That's a great movie.
That's my favorite movie of all time. Just great actors and great story.
That's Malkovich, right? Isn't Malkovich?
Malkovich, Matt Damon, and Ed Norton.
God, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I like both, man, because I can get lost in a stupid alpha male. I love all that crap. I'm going to see Meg 2 next week. My brother Scott and I, we're going to see. We went and saw.
Of course you are.
Yes.
That just sounds like.
We saw Meg 1 with my brother. I got a
Meg 1.
With,
all right, Meg 1 was pretty good. I like Jason Statham.
Meg 1 was terrible. It was not that.
But
great.
I know what Jason Statham is going to do.
Jason Statham.
Tom Cruise has this Academy Award nominated stuff in his pocket. You know what I mean? So now he's like, I'm just going to make movies for everybody, and I'm like. No,
Well,
I don't want to watch that.
He's really big into the experience of the movie, like Top Gun and Mission Impossible. Did you see Last MI?
I didn't see it yet. No.
Okay, I saw it right away, day one when it came out.
No,
I'm a big fan of those.
No,
so,
I like realism. Like I like watching him drive the motorcycle off of the ramp.
That motorcycle stunt. I saw a special on it, but then I saw the stunt. It's even more intense when you see it in the movie.
CGI, but then you see it on the mountain. You see the CGI. They had to color the ramp, of course, with CGI stuff. And I'm like, well, if we're gonna do that, why don't we just CGI the whole thing? Like I don't understand. Like it took me out of it, even in the preview.
Really?
A little bit.
He really did it. He really.
I know he did, but the grass isn't real. Like he's going over rocks in the motorcycle, and it's
too picky in a movie theater sponsor. There's some things you gotta let go. I would say that my ex and I, we went and saw. You're talking about that moment with Christy where she slapped her head.
Yeah.
We saw Batman and Robin with Clooney.
Oh well, that's
we sat down and we I was a huge fan of the first two, of course, right? You know, and the Val Kilmer one came out, and I was like, all right, whatever.
That's Batman Forever, I think.
Yeah, but then the Clooney one came out, and when he comes out and goes, "Hi, Freeze, I'm Batman," my ex and I immediately look at each other and didn't say a word and looked back at the movie theater, and then never looked at each other for the rest of the movie, but stayed. And then when it was over, we looked back at each other. And we just sat there.
Yeah, it was cartoony.
I mean,
they try to make it cartoony.
I was really mad about it.
No, I love Tom Cruise, and I love the like I said, I hope he still makes movies. I hope he branches out outside of the mission as he gets older. You know, I'm looking forward to when he gets older and he can't do this stuff.
He'll produce films. Like he likes a big screen movie. It's a big. In fact, before the movie, they come out with him and the director come out and go, "Thank you for coming to the movies to watch a movie that's meant to be seen on a movie screen."
Well,
he's part of that,
and I like that. I like that he does that. And Spielberg said he saved movies and stuff like that. But just for me specifically, like it surprises me people are going to see Oppenheimer like they're watching it. Like people are going to Oppenheimer, and I'm like, I think it's just part of the craze. I think it's part of the fad. They're not necessarily like, man, I can't wait to see the next Christopher Nolan film because I'm a big Nolan fan, and I can't explain Dunkirk. I can't explain. Really, you think there's a lot of people watching Tenet and Dunkirk and Inception and really understanding it?
I did. I watched those movies.
Yeah, I watched them and understood them. I think you could. You think the average person that goes and sees Tom Cruise is looking forward to the 4-story outline that's going to happen in the next Oppenheimer movie? You think he's going to sit there for 3 hours of dialogue for 5% of this being visual effects and sitting there? When I left Oppenheimer, there was people that were like, I don't really get it. And I was like, you dipshits are just here for Barbenheimer. That's why you're here. Barbie was dope.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going. The girls and I are going to see Barbie next week.
Barbie was. You gonna wear pink?
That's the first thing she said.
Come on, bud. You gonna wear pink?
I was gonna wear pink, but then she called me with a different plan because she's kind of goth. So she goes, "I'm gonna dress goth to represent the goth."
How about goth
and
pink?
You should wear your Metallica shirt. That's what she told me.
Okay. That's a different take.
Whatever they want. I'm a sap. I do whatever they tell me to do.
It's a good movie.
I know.
It's a good movie. It's that was like.
I've heard it's gotten ripped up by some people, but it's going to be $1 billion, dude. It's over $900 million.
Yeah, Margot Robbie called that before. She was like, I probably was overselling it, and now here it is.
Yeah, she's going to nail it.
Conservative people, I heard, got upset. Conservative males, like Shapiro, was like burning a doll.
Well, I can't listen to those. First of all, I don't listen to those guys ever, like ever. There's another faction I'll listen to. Like when we went and saw A Little Mermaid. The girls and I went and saw Little Mermaid.
I still haven't seen it.
Okay, well, the conservatives and the right, the conservative male, and that whole...
Why she have to be black?
Yeah, there was a whole bitch about, well, you've ruined The Little Mermaid. And I'm like, now you're being an idiot, because that's kind of what The Little Mermaid was about. It was about two different cultures coming together and realizing that there's differences.
Oh,
and we can live together.
All right.
So it fit right into what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And they crushed it. So I told Anna, and Anna and I talk about this stuff in depth all the time. I go, the movie's getting beat up because of this.
That's pretty cool.
So she goes, all right, well, let me know what you think after the movie. So the second the movie's over, she looks at me and goes, well, what'd you think? And I go, it was great. I go, they crushed it. I go, all the bad reviews I thought were terrible.
What did she think? What did she expect?
She loved it. First of all, they were Little Mermaid kids. So they were dying to see this movie. So in fact, that day we went, I had two other movies I wanted to see. I ended up going to see Flash the next day.
Oh,
myself.
I thought that was great. I don't know why people didn't go watch it.
Yeah,
I thought Ezra Miller did a great job. I mean, that was an emotional movie. It got to the part where it was like he's talking to his mom.
Yeah.
And like legit.
Dude, that last scene in the grocery store where he takes the soup out or whatever, right?
Dude, I mean, him talking to her, I'm just like, okay, this is good. They built this the right way.
Until afterward, it was really smooth at the end of the
movie. And then his dad looking up. Oh
yeah. But I thought that was good. And then it was Guardians of the Galaxy, which I didn't see.
I didn't watch it. Have you watched it
No,
yet?
I heard
It came out. I think it came out August 2nd, right?
It's streaming now. I think I'll be able to.
I'll watch it with Christy this weekend. 'Cause she wanted to go watch it, and then her daughter told her that they terrorized the animal, the raccoon. And so Christy's like, she came to me and she goes, "Do they really? Do they hurt? Do they hurt?" She's a huge animal lover. She goes, "Do they hurt the raccoon?
Did she know that that's a puppet?
Do they hurt the?"
Did you just tell the record's not a real raccoon?
No,
He's not a
dude.
real person.
I'm telling you, man. I try to get her to watch Yellowstone. We're trying to watch Yellowstone. Okay, we're trying to watch Yellowstone, and she's not getting it. And
love Yellowstone.
She's loved pretty much everything I've recommended. Dude, we watched Mr. Robot. We watched Handmaid's Tale. We watched The Boys. Like, she's dope. Like, she loves watching football. She's a huge Joe Burrow fan. Like, she watches everything. So as Yellowstone, I was like, she's like, what is it? I was like, it's like The Godfather. It's like the Godfather. It's the God. I said Godfather, but I go, it's the Godfather in the ranch.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Exactly
It's like Cowboy Godfather.
Yeah,
and she's
Cowboy
like,
Godfather.
Yeah, Cowboy Godfather.
Cowboy
Godfather.
Godfather. Sold.
That's all it was.
Should have been the pitch.
That's all it was. And so then we're watching it, and I can tell it's that thing where she's sitting next to me and she's just uncomfortable, and I go, "What do you?" So I pause it. I go, "What's the deal?" She goes, No, keep going." I go, No. What's the deal? She goes, I go, "Tell me, what is the problem?" Because this is like a good scene that we're having here, and they're on the ranch and they're going through the whatever they're doing, you know. And she goes, she goes, she didn't even look at me. She just goes, "Why do they ride horses?" I know where she's coming from.
Wow.
That she's like, and that never occurred to me.
Right.
That would never occur to me. And I go, "Are you serious? Why are they riding the horse?" She goes, "Yeah, I don't like that they ride the horse." And I go, "Well, I don't know. It's like we've always ridden horses." She goes, "Well, I don't like that we make horses carry us." And I was like, "Okay. I think maybe they like it. Like, I don't know. Yeah. No one's ever asked.
If that's never a problem. Yeah, that whole show is going to be a problem.
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. I never thought of maybe that horse doesn't like you up there. But maybe it does. I don't know.
It goes back to the Native Americans rode horses. It was the earth. It was what God or the world gods provided for you. Like cars, vehicles, they spew gas into the air. That's not natural. That's not. You know what I mean? So horses is riding. It's like you with one with the earth.
Well, if you come from a godly or a spiritual place, yeah, sure. But for her, an animal lover, she's like, I don't want to ride that horse. And so when we were talking, so it's on Guardians of the Galaxy. She's like, do they torture the raccoon? I go, what is about how I think it's about how he comes to be. And yeah, I think he gets tortured. She goes, I don't know if I want to go watch it. And I go, well, watch it when it comes out on the streaming. How about that? And she's like, okay. And she loves animals, man. Okay. There's these foxes. Why do you give the face? Some people just love animals. Yeah, some people don't kill insects.
It's a puppet. It's a movie and it's a puppet.
Yeah, but nobody wants to see that, even if it's fake.
All right, I guess that's all right. I guess I can.
Dude, I didn't like. Dude, the beginning of the Yellowstone. That wasn't. He shot the horse. I wasn't ready for him to shoot the horse. Shot the horse. Well, that's what happened. The beginning of House of Cards.
That's shooting.
Remember the beginning of House of Cards?
Was that? Did he throw the girl in the train?
No.
Halfway
Nope. That was
House of Cards.
Is when he walks over to the camera and he starts speaking to it.
Oh, right.
And and there's this dog. He told this woman to go get help. Yeah. And he takes the dog and he's giving you an example of power and life and all of this, and you start to hear him strangle the dog to death.
Right.
That's traumatic for me. You know, that's not a real dog that's happening.
That makes sense because I can't handle watching. Like I can handle that. I watch and realize it's a movie, but I can't handle like if I watch those movies. You ever watch? What's that movie that's called? It's about fate. These kids that don't get on a plane. And they're supposed to, but they're supposed
Final
to
Destination.
Final Destination. Any movie that shows people like breaking legs or arms or necks, like a broken neck, I can't watch.
That's why I don't like watching football sometimes, because the instant replays.
Yeah, but they don't do that anymore, and nobody gets hurt that bad during football.
Are you out of your mind? Are you serious?
Yeah.
That Lawrence Taylor thing on the Blind Side.
How many years ago was that?
I don't care. I still don't like that. I don't like when someone.
That's why they don't do it anymore.
What do you mean when someone doesn't do it anymore? They still show the people getting hit.
Yeah, but you can't cut away. You don't know when they're going to get hit. They don't show replays when guys get hurt anymore.
They don't do that?
No, they stopped doing that. That was one of the reasons. They showed that thing like 60 times that night. And afterwards, you're like, we probably shouldn't do that. They never show it. They never show it.
Okay.
There's the guy, in fact, when the kid, last year when the kid had the fucking heart thing.
Yeah. They never showed a replay.
They didn't show any replays.
They didn't show a replay.
When a guy hits the ground, they don't show replays. There's people watching and they're like, I don't think we should show this.
I like that.
Yeah. So
okay, I like that.
And I'm with you on that. I don't want to see a guy really get hurt. I hate when, I can't, those shows sometimes, the first replay, they'll show a guy twist or sprain his ankle, and that's a lot for me. I'm like,
yeah, I don't like that. Even in basketball, they're like, look, this is where he rolls it. And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, when rolling is the word. When guys goes up for a rebound and comes down, and their ankle goes under their foot. I can't watch that.
No.
Or even just a little thing like a hyperextended knee. I'm like, it hurts me.
This is why I don't do fantasy. I don't do fantasy because somebody got hurt that was on my team, and I got mad at him, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like this man just lost his. For a split second, I was for a split second, I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch! I needed 10 more yards out of you," and then I was like, "Whoa, whoa!"
What's happening to me?
And then I realized I've heard them talk like that, apologizing to their fantasy owners and stuff like that. I only did fantasy one time, and I was like, "I will never do this again."
You should hear
that guy just lost his livelihood.
You should hear my brother Mike. We shared a team this year. I backed out of it halfway through because he made a trade I wasn't happy about.
He made a trade?
A trade, yeah, and he traded a guy from the White Sox.
Were you on the same team?
No, the deal is I used to have. It's a league we've been doing for 25 years or so, a long time.
Okay.
On and off. Jimmy Pardo's in it. A couple other comics. Fritz is in it. You met Fritz. He does Brad's Place. He worked with me last time, I think, at Brad's Place.
Wait, Fritz?
Fritz, Chicago. Tall guy. Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, you've met him.
Okay.
He's been in the Chicago couple. He's been at Brad's a bunch.
Okay.
He knew Cindy well. But some other guys are in that league. But anyway, but I haven't been available for the draft the last 2 years.
Yeah. So it just goes on automatic.
And I go, no. That's the thing with this league. It's a live draft. We get together. It's a big event. It's a lot of fun. We have a whole day. It's an auction. It's not a draft, it's an auction.
You're that scene in Knocked Up. That's what you are.
Yeah,
you're that scene.
Exactly. We are.
Yeah,
and it's concrete. There's 10 different guys that have to make travel plans. You know what I mean? It's a whole deal. So they pick a day that works, and if it doesn't work,
this is for baseball.
Yeah, it's for baseball.
Oh,
we spend the whole day auctioning guys. So they'll go, okay, Jose Ramirez, $1, $2, 10, 5, 9, 15, 25, $25, 25. Do I hear 25, 26? It's an auction. That's what we do. And I couldn't make the last two, so Mike.
How much money does it take to put your roster together? How many players do you have?
$230 is the buy-in. It's a standard buy-in.
So everyone uses their $230 in a different way.
You pay $230 just to play the game, and then you get free moves up to a certain amount. And then when you get over that amount, you pay $5 per move.
How do you have this time? How
do
you have this time?
I haven't done it for the last 2 years.
Baseball, that's 160 games?
Well, the one reason this league works out really well, or worked well for me, was that we made moves once a week. We made them on Mondays. So I can make moves on Mondays. Other leagues I was in, they made daily moves.
But you got to keep track of all of the teams and all of the stats from all of the players.
That's why I haven't done it for 2 years, Spence. That's the point. Mike.
So what trade did your brother do that pissed you off?
Eloy Jimenez, who's a player for the White Sox.
I know. Yep.
And traded him away to someone else without asking me. And I'm a White Sox fan. I mean, that was our last White Sox player. And I was bummed. I was like, man.
What do you mean, our last White Sox player?
Well, because we have a roster. So you have.
But you have a roster, and your brother has a roster.
No. We have a team together.
That's what I was asking. Okay, so you both do it. Okay.
So Mike drafts it, and then we talk about it, and I'll let him make all the moves pretty much.
And so he traded away your player, and you were mad because he traded away your White Sox.
I was disappointed. I was like, dude, why did you the one White Sox player we had.
Are you trying to win? Or are you trying to be a fan?
Well, Eloy's one of the best White Sox players.
Now, which one are you trying? Okay, so what did he trade him for?
He traded.
What was his reasoning?
Mike gets too caught up on two things. One is injuries, which is why I brought this up. He goes, Eloy's always hurt. And every time we get hurt, he would bitch about Eloy getting hurt.
Okay.
But injuries are part of the game, and if you're going to play a whole 162 games, guys are going to get hurt, and they're not going. No one plays 162 games anymore.
No, I don't think does Trout play anymore. Yeah.
Trout barely plays. He's hurt most of the year, and so that, and he gets infatuated with young players you think are going to do good, and then he'll call them up and he'll get them, and then they don't do good for a few weeks, and then he'll get rid of them, and then they'll do good later, and then he'll get mad. He does, and I can't. And it's funny. It's funny to do a game with Mike because he thinks he's a genius, and
they're so stupid. They're so stupid.
He thinks and he gets mad when he doesn't move. In any league he's in, he's furious that everyone else doesn't acknowledge how good he is. It doesn't say it out loud, but he'll get mad. I can't believe they don't know.
So dumb.
But I love listening to him bitch about it. It's the funniest thing in the world. He picks me up from the airport, and he'll bitch all the way home about fantasy baseball.
Dude, the best thing that I did was lose immediately when I gambled. Like, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I especially sports betting. I bet Peyton Manning was with the Broncos, and I was in Vegas, and I wasn't living there yet. And he was going to Atlanta, and Atlanta was like one of the worst teams. And they were one of the best offenses. And I was like, I'm just going to pick them to win. I
remember that game.
I don't even think I need to do anything. Like, I'm just going to pick them to win. I'm going to make this. I think it was like, I make like $1. I bet 20 or some shit like that. Like, it was terrible. It was terrible what I was going to win. It was like 90 cents or $2 or I don't remember what it was. But I don't even know how all that works. I just know I bid a lot of money. Or I bid like Not even a lot of money. And he throws 4 interceptions in one half. I go, man, fuck this, man. Like, and I was like mad at Peyton. It's like my favorite player. And I was like, why am I mad? This guy's having a horrible day. Why am I?
You're so caring.
I'm mad. I'm mad at him.
I shouldn't be mad at him. He's got to be miserable.
He's frustrated. I'm in Vegas.
There's something wrong with
I'm losing my $20 right now.
He's probably emotionally upset.
And then I kept wanting to come back. And I was like, this game is out of hand. And people were like, come on, Spence, let's go. And I go, nah, I got to be here for him. I got to be here for him. This is stupid. This is so dumb. But yeah, the guys that are in there, I think they're geniuses. I was winning that NBA. It was an NBA fantasy. And I was winning it till the final week. Every week I was in first place.
Yeah.
And then last week, just chaos happened.
Right.
Everybody got injured. There was no way. And then I ended up in like 6th place. I was winning for like 13, 14 weeks straight or some shit. And then that came out, and I didn't make any money. And I go, why did I dedicate all of this time to this?
Yeah.
You know, it's like people that like college football.
But it's fun. It's fun to do it. Like if I had the time, I would do it. But I don't have the time anymore. You know what? This takes away from a lot of my baseball research.
Oh man,
I'm sitting here doing research for 4 hours of trying to find a second baseman. I don't do that anymore. You know, now I'm editing videos trying to get people to follow me on YouTube. So what's going to help me? What's going to benefit me more in the long run?
I love when people are not billionaires and they pretend their fantasy draft team is like they actually own a sports franchise.
Right.
And it's like, you don't. You're poor. Like, this is not, you do not own this team.
Right.
This is a waste of your time.
My brother's in a league. He tells me about this one. This is insane. It's a keeper league, and they use minor league players. So
you have no fucking life, man.
No,
if you're looking at minor leagues,
there are guys that pick up guys on the waiver wire and they had him on their bench, and Mike will go, "Can I want to trade for that guy?" He goes, "No, I'm going to need that guy in 27." Literally. Oh my God. Yeah, literally.
And they keep him for years.
They keep him for years. Yeah, I think 10 years is the limit that you can keep a guy, something like that.
This is okay. So this is a hobby, and this is something that they enjoy.
If you enjoy doing it, I guess that's great.
If it's a hobby and you love it and you enjoy it, then by all means go ahead.
Mike runs his like George Steinbrenner, where he's like, "Don't you want to win now? Don't you want to win right now?" I don't understand holding a guy so that maybe he can help you in 2027. You can win right now.
But it's like, is there money? Is he paying his rent with this? Is it a gambling?
Well, you can win.
If
you win, you win good money. I mean, we won the league a couple of times and made pretty good money. But most of it is for
I'd rather
fun.
go. I mean, if I was on land and I had that kind of time, I would go play golf. That's what I would do. I would try to get better at a skill. And golf to me is the ultimate. Like, try to get good at.
I used to have a bookie. I used to gamble all the time. I used to have a bookie, and I stopped gambling football.
Okay.
Because it made me miserable. I didn't enjoy watching football.
No.
I would get mad all day watching football.
Now, when they're shitty teams, that happened to me. Like every Thanksgiving, I could see people gambling on Thanksgiving.
I'll do that.
I bet like $5 because they still got the Detroit Lions. Oh, they still got the Detroit Lions playing.
I still do Thanksgiving and I do the Super Bowl. In fact, last year I won a bunch of money on the Super Bowl.
Because the Lions were so shitty though. Like that's the only time
They're supposed to be better this year, but I don't know if that's going
to Yeah. I still have that article I want to read.
Whatever. You
want some help here?
No, that's good. Actually, it's perfect.
Is it perfect?
Yeah, I can fix it in post too. I'll just straighten it out. I bet I won a bunch of money.
Are you sure? Because I'm like leaning this way.
No, it is
okay.
A little bit, but I'll fix it in post.
Okay.
Because I don't care what you look like. I look good.
Oh, good. You said you were gambling on Super Bowl?
Yeah, I bet the Super Bowl every year because it's the last game of the year, and I bet I'm like, what the hell? I'll bet this. I'll bet that. And I won. I won a bunch of money in the Super Bowl. I won a ton. So, but it sat on my account for like months, right? I'm not, I'm like, I didn't pull it out. I didn't do anything. So what I did was I took the money I won last year and carried it over and bet on a bunch of long shot bets for the Bears. Like if the Bears make the playoffs, I'll win my money back. Okay. And if they go to if they win the conference, I win like $4,000. It's like a whole bunch of stuff, but it's just.
That's for this year?
Yeah, it's just extra money. So I was like, what the hell? I just,
If it's fun and you treat it that way, great. But it's, I think it's trouble when people. Like I don't. If people can make money doing it, I'm like, hey, more power to you.
I know guys that used to do it. I used to get up in the morning and go through all the numbers, all the lines, all weekend. That's what I did. And then at halftime, you look at where you're at and you hedge your bets. Like that, like when Peyton Manning throws four picks, you go back and you go, okay, now what is going to happen in the second half to make up for that? That's one of the reasons I quit. That's why I quit gambling. Was I ruined it?
Yeah, I can't. I gotta be.
Too much.
I can't.
And
giving my money, having people take my money away, just really bothers me.
I'll bet when I'm in Vegas too. When I play Brad's, there's a buddy I go and we hang out Sunday and watch football, And I like to hang out and watch football and bet it on the day of the day.
I think doing it with a dude, like doing it with a friend, would be fun. Like going and gambling and doing like a little bit of money, that's fun. There's a buddy of mine, Jeff, and he lives in LA. When he comes to Vegas, he likes sitting down at $2. He's got plenty of money, but he sits down at $2, $3 table. He loves just going and sitting at tables for poker. Yeah, and that's what I do. I love that. You could sit there for hours at a $2, $3 table with $100. I think that's the best gamble in the entire thing. But
there's not that many $2, $3 tables. Well, I guess you can
sure
find them
right there in Vegas. It's got $2, $3 right in the middle of the day. And so we just sat down there and we hang out. We sit at the same table. We play, talk shit, talk to people. That's my favorite thing to do in Vegas.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
People that sit down at $2, $3 table though, and they look. I get you're grinding it out. If this is your job and you're doing this, okay, I guess, but. I don't know. The ones with the shades on at $2, $3, it's like they're sitting there staring. They got their headphones on. They got the hoods up. I'm like, this is the $2, $3 table. Like, this is not. I don't know. Well, maybe you should do that when you get to money. You know,
that's how a lot of the guys make money. Is that those two? Like, do you know what? Is
that what they do? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Because I used to play.
Maybe they're taking money from me, and I just don't know. Maybe that's what they want to do.
Like I was there last time I was there. I was a good example. I was a bad example though. I got drunk and stayed up and played one night, and I shouldn't have. I should have fucking left way before I.
That's how they get you.
And normally I don't. Normally I play sober and I play pretty well, and I can come out even or win some money at those tables. But if I'm drunk, I'm chasing. And...
I guess for me it's just quality of time. I guess for me it's like you're wearing the glasses and the hood. You got to do all this just to sit here and try to make $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year. I don't know. Like I sit there for a few hours and I don't lose any money. How many guys are you really taking their money and winning, and you're not chasing anybody off of a straight at a $2, $3 table? Right. You know what I mean? Like if I got 4 spades, I got one showing, you can have pocket aces and be like, oh, what's the pot? $20? Yeah, fuck it. Let's see if the spade comes. See if the spade comes, you know? Right. And then it comes, oh, you played that terribly. But like, it's $20.
Yeah.
You know?
That's where they go all in.
Everyone's going to reload.
All-inners or limit table. Limit tables are stupid.
Either way.
All in. If a guy's sitting with $300 and you're chasing a gut shot straight, you're not going to go.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think that's what it was. I think it was like a max or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, max is stupid though.
But you can still reload. You don't know who you're talking to. This guy might be a millionaire sitting across from you. You know, I might be sitting here in a jeans and t-shirt, and you know how much money I have. And you're just like, and then we just keep going. Eventually, all right, well, maybe I do get that on. That's going to ruin this guy, but it's not going to ruin me.
Right.
So you never know who you're playing or what you're doing. Like I said, I just like sitting there and having fun. Blackjack pisses me off. I don't play blackjack.
Really?
Oh, I get so mad. I get so mad at the other people.
Why? Because they hit.
They hit, and the dealer, like there's 4 of us sitting there that know how to play, and there's just one. There's just one lady.
You can't control, man.
One dude, whoever it is, just sitting there in the corner, and be like, "Oh, I got 13. Hit me." I'm like, "You a fucking idiot! Like, what are you doing?" He's showing a 4. What are you doing? Then
usually the dealers will say something. Like a lot of times the dealers go, "I don't think you want to do that." Like in Vegas, they do that a lot. Vegas, because you're not really playing the dealer. You're playing
that's what happened the first time I was in Vegas. I was playing blackjack, and I told my lady at the time, I said, "Hey, I'm going to spend $150 on gambling. So, but you hold the money, but we're going to do this first." And I put $50 on black. Okay. You know, because I saw it on Entourage, and I was like, "I want to do that one time."
Yeah, right.
And they took my $50, and I go, "Okay." All right, well, we got another 6 days here. And then we started playing blackjack, and I lost $50 quick. And that guy was not nice. That guy was actually kind of an ass. Like, he was playing with his money or some shit. He's like, lose again. And I go,
who, the dealer?
Yeah. And I look at my lady, and I go, give me the $50. And she goes, and she put her hand on my shoulder and goes, who are you playing against? And I go, fuck. No one.
Good for you for catching it. Good for you for not going, shut up, give me the $50.
Is that your brother, Mike?
No, he doesn't gamble.
Is that your
Mike doesn't gamble at all.
Oh, okay, all right.
He's just stupid.
The anger, though. I can see the anger. Like, give me the $50. Wait a minute. The fantasy football team guy does not gamble?
No, it's different. Fantasy football is about numbers and knowing the players and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, it's still gambling, but it's gambling in something he knows, and it's more control. Or it actually is something that he knows well. Gambling is cards is all luck. It's almost all luck. Even Hold'em.
What?
Even Hold'em, even though
there's
you're
a
playing
lot
other
of
people,
probability. There's a lot of stats and probabilities that happen in cards, man.
Well, but not nearly as many as in baseball. In baseball, you know if a guy bats 300, he's probably going to bat 300.
Okay.
There's backup. You know what I mean? There's backup. There's
many chances at the plate. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, just if a guy does it consistently for 5 years, you know who he is. We'll wrap it up. Where are we at?
Dude, this fog. We're gonna be able to get in there, right?
This thick as shit. Are we gonna make it in there?
You would know better than I would. I have no idea.
They may not make it in there.
I hate blowing the horn. I mean, if someone doesn't hear the horn, they're just not paying attention. Like this is when it gets me, where I'm like, this seems scary to me. That you can find someone.
Well, I can just now finally see the ocean a little bit. Like I look because I heard the horn earlier today. I opened the curtains. Like, oh, that's not that bad.
Goes in and out.
And it took me a second. I go, fuck, you can't see anything.
I feel like such an idiot. I don't even know where fog comes from. I'm just like in San Francisco in the morning, like it makes sense. But in the middle of the day, in the middle of the ocean, where's this coming from? Where's fog come from? It's hot out. I was like, I don't.
But that's why I think it's.
I just remember waking up in the morning in Cali, and then there being like,
there's
like
always
foggy.
morning.
Yeah, it's always morning dew.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay. Now out here, I'm like, what is this?
Well, I think it's the temperature's got a lot to do with it. It's way more warmer here than it has been. And I think it's got something to do with it. I mean, the rest of the country is hot as fuck right now.
I told you that story about the guy in the elevator, right? The guy from Houston.
Yes.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's the greatest.
I want to tell it again.
Huh?
I want to tell it again.
Tell it now. You should tell it. You do it on the podcast. It's the best. Yeah.
I told you. Did you watch those Leonardo DiCaprio? Did you look them up?
No, I haven't had the Wi-Fi connection yet.
They're so good. Ice on Fire.
I'll do it tomorrow morning. I'll be in the lounge at the.
It's like he made the first movie and he traveled everywhere and that cost him money.
Right.
And then he met the Pope and he met Obama and you were like, okay.
Right.
And then the second movie, he was like, I don't think that did what it was supposed to. So how about I just narrate this one? We just give the facts.
Right.
So the second one, I would watch the second one first and then watch the first one.
Okay.
I would watch the second one first. Ice on Fire is the second one.
Okay.
But yeah, being on the elevator with that older couple, and they were giving this dude shit about wearing shorts, and it was raining and cold, and the guy's in flip flops, and he's obviously not getting off the elevator. He's getting off the elevator, but he's not getting off the ship. This lady's like, "Are you gonna wear that outside?" And he's like, "No." You know what's weird? I've like seen this dude like 3 times in the cruise.
Yeah.
Like just minding his own business, walking around. I just want to go to him and go, "Hey, fuck that old lady." You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Wear those shorts. I don't think I've seen him in shorts and flip flops since all 3 times.
You enjoy your vacation, dude.
Yeah, man. And so she's sitting there, and so he gets off, and she looks at me, and she goes, "It's 105 where we're from. 105." And the husband goes, "Houston." Like, that's where they're from. Yeah. And I go, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah." I go, "I live in Las Vegas." And she's like, "Oh
my God. Well, you live on the sun."
And then he goes, "It's 115 there." And I was like, "This guy's."
I love he knows the fucking
this guy's
temperature
knowledgeable, right? This guy's knowledgeable. And I go, right, that global warming, man. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio has made like those 2 movies, and he goes, "It's ridiculous." And I'm like, "You're from Texas, bro. Like your state is number 1 in clean energy."
Yeah.
The fact, just the amount of willful ignorance in that statement.
Right.
You can bring facts to dispute what we said,
yeah.
but you just chalk it up as cockamamie.
Yeah, but there's never facts to come beat it. It's always like idiots.
I would love for there to be facts to come beat it, just to be like, oh, there's no way the human race can change the atmosphere of the temperature. I was like, oh, okay, well, how about since the Industrial Revolution, the temperature has spiked?
Yeah.
How the carbon emissions have spiked since the industrial, and there's nowhere for them to go, and they're hovering. This is just simple. Like they do it with like a crayon. Yeah. Like they show like this is what happens, and then this is what happens.
It's kind of common sense if you think about it.
It seems like it. So I want someone to bring common sense the other way, to go, well, this is the scientific data that shows that this was like this, such and such, and it was like this, such and such, and it was like this. No one's done that. It's just, it's all politicians that are being paid by fossil fuel leaders.
Yeah.
And there's
plus
like
they just,
millions
their
of
argument
dollars.
Is you're wrong. That's their argument. You're wrong or stupid.
And I don't understand, because there's a lot of money to be made from the clean energy too. You can go in there and make money doing that. It's
but
look at Tesla.
Big oil's owned this fucking world for decades, and they've shoved everything. They've Sure. There's so much money lobbying, and because of that, the news comes from what they want us to hear, and then we hear that this is bad, but this is good. And I was reading a thing about nuclear energy, and they were talking about how
they just opened up another plant.
Yeah, they go.
You saw that?
I read a whole breakdown of it, and I was reading it and going, "Fuck, that's not so bad. That maybe it's not as evil as."
Oh, watch Chernobyl.
Yeah, no, I watched Chernobyl. I watched it backwards too, by the way.
What do you mean?
I screwed up. I downloaded it and I watched the last episode first. Right? So then I'm watching the second to last episode, and I go, oh, this must be a flashback. And about halfway through, I go, what the fuck? And I look and I go, son of a bitch. So I went all the way back to episode 1. and just watched it all the way through.
So good.
It was brutal.
So
brutal.
Good. So good.
Oh my God! It's
Don't fly over that. Don't fly over that. You will die. You will kill us all.
They're sending guys up. Go look. I don't think. Go look.
It's so good.
Okay.
It's so good.
Oh my God.
I don't usually like things like that because I like eating while I watch something. It's like it's fun for me. And then watch their skin peeling off or being red and cancer. Oh, the guy with
that guy dying in the hospital. Them shooting the dogs. That'd be a bitch for Christy.
Yeah, I fast forwarded. Yeah, I was like, I knew when it was coming because I'd already seen it, and so I watched the second time with her, and I was like, oh.
You don't
and she's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "You just trust me." And just it was like puppies and shit, and he's shooting them. Like it's not. I didn't say any of it. I didn't say any of it. She goes, she's kind of looks at me with that trust in the eyes.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm like confident, beautiful woman, but when it comes to animals being, dude, she's got she feeds squirrels. She feeds squirrels outside. We have 3 cats, and I adopted them, I guess, and love them to death. But they all sit near the window. And one of them, Snickers, he brings toys.
Step back.
I know. I don't want to talk about it. Blake is the other one. Blake, Snick. I didn't name these cats. It's Tori, Blake, and Snickers.
All right.
And so Snickers has a habit of Emma, her daughter, keeps little animals like hamsters and mice.
Right.
She bought mice, and I was like, Snickers has killed 3 things this year, and you're bringing mice into this house, and he's good at it. And it's like they're like, no, he won't get them. We're gonna put him in the fish aquarium. And I go, okay. And so literally, I shit you not, dude. No one was in the house. I go up, and Emma's door is open, and I kind of peek my head in. This motherfucker's sitting on the aquarium, looking down,
right,
trying to figure it out. Like, how do I get in this? And I was like, what the fuck are you doing in this room, bro? Yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna figure this out. Like,
I'll be right with you, Spence. I'm trying to solve a problem right now.
Dude, that shit you know, he's a ninja, man. I swear to God, this cat's a ninja. He's a ninja. He jumps on the counter. He's not supposed to be up there. And then he jumps on top of the fridge. And then he uses his paw and gets into the cabinet and starts dunking his head into the food.
Really?
And eating it. And the other 2 cats
dude,
are
you got to respect that.
Dude, the other 2 cats are just watching him. And I'm watching them. Like, we're all watching him do this. And Christy walks in and she goes, no. And she's so short, she can't get him. And she was like, "Why are you just watching him?" I go, "I'm fucking amazed. I'm applauding. Are you kidding?
Survival at the fittest.
He deserves this. Like he deserves.
Yeah,
this.
that's you. I'm not gonna knock him down.
These other 2 are sitting here like, "Fuck, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Like, how do I not do that?"
Yeah.
So he was pushing. We were out to dinner, and her phone chirped, and it was she answered it. And it was her security, her home security. It was her home security, and she goes, "No, that's probably just Snickers." And she goes, "Thank you, though," and hung up the phone. And I was like, "That was your home security?" She goes, Yeah. I go, "What does that have to do with Snickers?" She goes, "Well, the garage door is open." And I go, did we leave it open? She goes, No, the one that goes into the house, he opens it. I go, "Your cat opens the door." She goes, "Yeah, he headbutts it." I go, "What?" He knows if it's not closed fully, so he'll hit his head against it. I go,
dude, I love this cat.
This cat, I'm telling you, he's a fuck. So when I see him, dude, when I shit you not, he already killed 1 animal because it was in a cage, and he found out how to open the cage. Right. And so when I walked in, he's sitting on top of that aquarium. It was one of the funniest fucking things. He's sitting up there, and I go, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna figure this out." The funniest sound. He just looks at me just with that face like,
dude, I love this cat.
He's just, he doesn't look up all the way. He just looks at me and he's like,
yeah. Right. Doesn't even tilt his head. No, what are you doing? Hang on.
Exactly that, bro.
If I almost got to figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah. That was exactly it. He couldn't have been more casual. I was just insane. I was like, "No, like, don't kill the animal, and I'm the only one here. Like, don't do that." And I'm like, I was looking at him, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, just give me a second."
Yeah.
So I don't remember why I launched into that story with them.
I don't know, but we got to wrap it up. It's almost 6:30. We're supposed to go eat in 30 minutes.
Oh, man, so excited. Sushi.
I know. All right.
This is fun. Thanks for having me.
Dude, it was great. Dude, plug whatever you want right to the camera, man. Do your socials. Get the right
at
tags.
Comedian Spencer. I'm, how do I say this the right way? I've invested a lot of time, a lot of money into learning how to edit and create these stories. So the production quality is going to be really good. And hopefully the stories are really good on Instagram. and the comedy's really good. So posting a lot of comedy clips. So there's one video that's on there right now. It's pinned right to the top of Instagram. It's got 670,000 views or something. So posted that a few weeks ago. So watch it, share it. Be much appreciated. Give me a follow on Instagram. Subscribe to YouTube. These guys are on YouTube, right? It's mostly on YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe to YouTube because I think I have like 900 and some people on there that are watching. And then I got a vlog that's going to be coming out that I'm editing and shooting, especially this month. And then newsletter, SpencerJames.com. New website. 2 gay guys built it. And in the middle of the website build, they decided they wanted to get a divorce.
Oh, right. You ruined a relationship. Good for you.
Well, yeah. Yeah, the website's beautiful though. It definitely looks like 2 gay guys.
That's like their baby.
Definitely, yeah, it is. Their divorce baby. That's what it was. So, like, this is divorce baby. Trying to get them to talk to each other during the making of the website was very tough.
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
It's very difficult. But that took like 2 or 3 times long. But yeah, appreciate it.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
You, dude. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
You're still watching? That's amazing. Nobody does that. Nobody, but you did. That means you want more. Pick one of these clips. Go for it. I dare you. Hey, also follow one of those social media thingies.